everybody, Young Grasshopper here. Welcome to the Cliffside Bunker in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And this is the first episode of a video series that I'm starting tonight. It's all about discussions and topics. I want to amalgamate my channel updates into this category as well. So the first episode, I want to have a discussion. I got lots of topics off the top of my head that I could definitely fill this content, this category with, but today I wanted to first start off by talking about the community in general, the Axis and Allies community. What is it? So maybe you're new, you're entering the hobby, you've heard this term quite a bit. The Axis and Allies community has been around a long time. Hard to pinpoint when it got started, obviously way before I entered the community. But through a series of websites, social media platforms, YouTube for example, people got to know each other, whether it was posting videos, whether it was just sharing comments and strategies on a forum thread, or just sharing pictures of their painted pieces, or whatever else they were doing in the hobby. So that's how it started, and it just snowballed, and we're at a point now where the community is massive. I want to talk about a lot of different points about the community. I want to start first of all by talking about axeandallies.org, which is the first website that allowed me to enter the community. So I just got finished buying this really cool game, Axis and Allies Anniversary Edition. I was so stoked. I was so pumped. It was beautiful, very well done. The board, the rule book. I was excited about this new nation, Italy, and the new sculpts, the new pieces. And I didn't have anybody to play with. A lot of the guys that I played Classic Edition with were living in another city. So as I was fishing for new players to play this game, whether it be a coworker or someone online, I just found axeandallies.org. I signed up, I created a user profile, and a lot of people ask me, where did you come up with Young Grasshopper? I mean, obviously we don't really use our real names in the community, and there's a lot of interesting handles out there. I don't think mine's all that interesting, but it's one of the first things people ask me if they meet me or whatever. So I'll explain that. Actually, it's the avatar, it's the picture of the samurai with his hands up over his head with a sword. It's a World War II Axis propaganda poster, and I wanted that as my avatar, my picture, my icon. And then the name came second, because I was like, okay, what name do I want with this image? And I was thinking samurai, I was thinking martial arts, so that just, Young Grasshopper just came to my mind, right? And that's what I've been using ever since. So anyway, moving on, axeandallies.org is a tremendous place. It has been a tremendous place in the past for people to talk about strategies, to share house rule ideas. It's where a lot of us met each other for the first time. Obviously the founder, David Jensen over there, does a terrific job. He had the difficult decision a while ago to just break everything down and start back with new software, new user face software, and it lost a lot of the hardcore old members. I mean, that website is still great. It adds members all the time, every day, but a lot of the old guard just stopped going, because it was something that we needed to learn again, all over again. And when you're used to something, when you're addicted to something, let's be honest with each other, when we're addicted to something, if there's a little change, it's hard for us to get back in. It's almost like work. We have to relearn something, or get over something, or accept something that's different. And for a lot of us, we were addicted, and we were spending a lot of time on axeandallies.org. So when David Jensen changed it and made it so different, he had to, because there were security issues, and there was only so far that he could go with the type of coding and website structure that he was using. He wanted to, for the future of his website, switch over. But it gave a lot of people a reason to stop because their addiction was really bad. They were just on there all the time. And it's a tough thing to relearn. And I think, honestly, I think it just allowed people to just stop and take a step back and not be on it so much, whether it be at dinner time around the table or at work or whatever. And David Jensen took a lot of heat for changing it, but you know, it it was absolutely necessary. That being said, moving on, I want to talk about all kinds of different profiles and you know, well, YouTube. I started a YouTube channel because I had built my first custom game table. And over on axandallies.org on customizations, a lot of people were sharing pictures of what they were doing. I definitely wasn't the first to build a game table. There was lots of game tables built and shared via photos and posting the photos on axandallies.org in the customizations forum. There was a sticky thread that where you could go, and somebody had organized it and was just, oh, I just built my table. I wanted to share some pictures, but you know, as I was taking all these pictures of different things, different aspects, I was like, wow, you know, I don't want to post like 20 pictures. So I said, you know what, I'm going to make a YouTube video. I forget when it was. I think it was the summer of 2011, roughly around there. And I was just getting into YouTube. Obviously, I had to start up my channel and shoot my first video and get my feet wet. But really, honestly, it was just so that I could show off my new game table. So I did a video of my new game table and I uploaded it. And honestly, I just shared the link over on axandallies.org. That's really all I wanted to do. I wanted to create a video. YouTube allowed me to have that ability to upload, and then once I had the link, all I want to do was share it over on axandallies.org. But you know, as more people went to the video and talked about it, and of course it was public, and there was many people out there that was searching for Axe and Allies material, Axe and Allies content. So I started getting all kinds of new subscribers, new subscriber, and I was like, wow, cool. So not only were they out there looking for Axe and Allies content, but I was too. I had just uploaded my first video, and I'm like, wow, this is a pretty cool resource, right? So I started looking, and I found a couple of people. You know, one of the first people I've ever met through YouTube was Detroit, and we created a bond right away. I was watching his videos, he was watching my videos. He was giving me advice on things that I could do, and I just started to shoot different Axe and Allies content because there wasn't much out there. I was getting so many new subscribers right from the beginning, so I figured, okay, people like my content, so I started doing how-to videos, and that's when the channel really took off, when I was doing how to play, right? So moving on, a new community branch of the community tree. So a new branch was formed through YouTube. The first, though, in my opinion, the first, and this is why we call him the Godfather, is Detroit. He was doing videos on painting his pieces, and he was shooting videos like this, like face to face, talking to his audience way before I started. So a community was formed there. Now let's look at some other platforms. So Twitter. Twitter was something that I explored and dabbled with in the beginning after my YouTube channel, and I was sharing pictures over there and whatnot, and I was searching, but Twitter didn't really take off for the community. Now, mind you, I was using it a lot for sports. So my favorite hockey team, my favorite basketball team, I was using it to find out rumors and everything. It was really, really good for that. Especially on like free agent day or draft day, right? There'd be tons of information coming in. You could find out what was happening with your favorite team before the cable news announced anything. So I was using it a lot for that. I was wondering if I could find a way to use this medium for Acts and Allies. Now, hashtag Acts and Allies, so I would search hashtag Acts and Allies. I would see a lot of cool pictures and posts, but even today, I mean, it's not really the type of platform that is good for the community, like as far as launching it. Now I'll segue into a platform that is good, that became good, and that is Facebook. So Facebook is definitely way better keeping the Acts and Allies community connected and engaged than Twitter. This is just my opinion, just my experience. I have both a Facebook page and a Twitter account, so I haven't been on Twitter in a long time. I tried to see how I could get the community engaged over there, but it just wasn't working. It's just not, doesn't feel suited for it. But Facebook, however, there's a couple of groups. There's one called just Axis and Allies with many, many, many members, and there's one called Everything Axis and Allies. And I belong to those two groups. I've joined, and I've been enjoying it a lot. Now, I was late to the show because I'm not really a Facebook fan. Everything else that Facebook is used for, I'm not really a fan. In fact, I only use Facebook to post on those two groups. So, a lot of people ask me to, be their friend. They friend request. And that's fine, and I confirm, and I do have a page, but I don't really do anything with the page. Again, if I want to share something, maybe a link to a video, maybe a link to a forum thread of rules or whatever, I'll go there and I'll post it, and I'll look around while I'm there. And I think it's great. I think it's really, really great for the community, and it's another branch. I know that there's an individual, I don't want to mispronounce his name, and I definitely don't want to leave anybody out that also had significant contributions to these groups, right? But there's a Misha Kessler or Keeler, Misha. Sorry if I butchered your name, and I'm sorry if I left out other people that are part of his team, or of course the other one, Everything Acts and Allies, there's another individual there, or maybe I'm mixing them up. The point is that there's great people that run those two groups, and I really highly recommend joining those groups so that you can see all kinds of stuff. There is so much stuff in those groups that are coming from the members: pictures, game reports, customizations, rule documents, just funny blurbs and photos that crack you up with Acts and Allies related content. Now, I want to move on because I got a lot of different sites and platforms to talk about. So I would say there has been one platform that came around a year ago, maybe longer, maybe now 2 years ago, but it really caught on. And I'm talking about WhatsApp. So WhatsApp is a great resource to connect with people via like phone calls. So I mean, I have nationwide calling, and I have international calling to the US. I pay quite a bit, but I can't really see myself not having it because I talk to so many people. I have so many friends that I've met in the US that I talk to all the time, and I talk to for hours, and I text them all the time, and I just have a lot of American friends from being in this hobby. So I choose to just pay the extra cost to be able to have free international, free coast to coast. I live in Canada, so, but WhatsApp is great for people that can now talk overseas, like my buddy Gernot, my buddy Corporal Clegg, um, you know, Chuk, and Barry Lancaster, and again, I don't want to leave anybody out, but just an example of some people across the pond that WhatsApp is great for. You can text through WhatsApp. It's fast and it's free. So WhatsApp really allowed us as a community to do that. But what happened was, of course, the same with Facebook is you could create groups and you could invite people into those groups. And there was already a couple of cliques of us that were just tight. People that we've met at tournaments, many people that came to Toronto for my 2017 Invitational, became good, close friends with, started chatting with them through WhatsApp, and then, of course, I think Detroit was the first to maybe start a group, but I joined that one. Cireblood joined one. I created one myself. The point is, we started to take individuals' phone numbers and that they had downloaded the app and invite them into these groups. Now, I'll be honest with you, over the past month, I would say, maybe 2 months, I've been really evaluating WhatsApp and what it means to me, how much time it takes, how much of my time it takes and whatnot, and what is the content over there. I mean, I know the content on YouTube, I know the content at accidentallies.org, I know the content on Facebook, but evaluating it, what I've been doing is I've been leaving the groups that I'm in. I think I was in 4 different groups, and one by one I kind of been leaving each of them. I'm down to 1 group now, and the reason being is because, you know, as much as it was great to just shoot the shit with like great friends that were in the group, I felt like I was disconnected from everybody in the community that was not in the group. So that was one issue. Another issue is that, you know, when you get buddies together, they're talking about all kinds of stuff, all kinds of stuff. And whether it be sports or, you know, what's happening in the world. Obviously, right now we're talking about, you know, COVID lockdowns and things like that. But also there was just a presidential election not too long ago between Biden and Trump. But I mean, these groups allow for conversation of any sort, you know, any sort at all. And what was happening is because we were all close and we're all tight knit and good friends and everything, the conversation traveled away from Accidental Allies a lot, right? And I'm just going to, just so I can sum this up and move on, right? And talk about other things going on in the community, other platforms and stuff, just to wrap up what my thoughts are about WhatsApp. After like looking at WhatsApp in comparison to all these other things I've been talking about, these branches of the same Accidental community tree, is that honestly I feel like from experience that WhatsApp has actually been detrimental to our community a little bit. Now, don't get me wrong, like, you know, there are people that got into this hobby, met other people, and then started talking with them, visiting them, and they just become great friends, become close friends, better friends within a few years than they are with their longtime neighborhood buddies, right? I've experienced that myself here in Toronto with my gaming group. So tight, good close friends that, you know, want to talk about other things outside of the game Accidental Allies. And I'm not taking anything away from that. It's just I've seen individuals that used to like each other by talking about Accidental Allies now who don't talk to each other because a subject arose and they realize that they have more differences than they had originally thought. Which is the case when we're talking about Accidental Allies, then we all love Accidental Allies, we all have something in common. But as soon as you start maybe talking about the election, you realize, wait a minute, you're a Trump fan? Screw you, right? So I've been I made a conscious decision to sort of just leave some of the groups. I was in many of them, and now I'm down to one. So, like I said, I'm fine with WhatsApp staying connected and sharing on there. I think that downsizing, downgrading my WhatsApp footprint was the right thing to do in the long run. But moving on, I want to talk about, of course, YouTube. I first got my start at YouTube. It was axonalities.org, and then I transcended into YouTube, and then of course that became a force for me. Really changed my life, obviously. Um, you know, I think there was like this explosion of new channels that came on the scene, like the second half of like 2016, beginning of say 2017, and just all these channels just sprouted up, right? It was fantastic. It was like a real renaissance. It was a real revival of just people say, I'm starting a channel, I can do this, I'm going to talk about Axe and Allies on my YouTube channel. And there was just so many of them all at once. And of course, when I announced that I was going to have a small tournament, everybody's like, I'm going, I'll be there. You know, I remember General Hand Grenades, like, you know, I booked my ticket, right? And it was like, and then the Big E, right? And all these people that had these startup channels was like, I'm there, I'm there, I'm there. I'm like, wow, this is really, really growing. So YouTube has been a tremendous place for me to just express myself and to help people get into the game. My number one reason for my YouTube channel is to help people get into the hobby, not be so intimidated with this game, Axe and Allies 1940 Global 2nd Edition. I've gotten, don't get me wrong, I've gotten fantastic comments on my comment boards all the time over the course of the many, many years that I've been shooting videos. And I get tremendous comment after tremendous comment. I just recently got one, and forgive me, I forget who it came from, but basically it said that I've been watching your videos for years, and you are the reason why I got into this game, and you are the reason why I have friends to game with, and you are the reason why I have such close friends and love this game so much. And that was tremendously humbling. I mean, like, I was like blown away. And it's because of guys like that, it's because of comments like that, that I started the channel, honestly. I remember one of my very, very first videos, I said, you know, if I could just get one person into this game and love this game and play this game the rest of their life and enjoy it and have fun with new friends playing this game, then my channel was a complete success. And when I read that comment that I got recently, I think it was on my last channel update, I remember or recall me saying that in a video years and years ago. And now, mind you, again, I've had like tremendous comments like that over the years. It was just, when I'm rebooting the channel and I want to bring out all kinds of old and new content, it's great knowing that it's not all for naught. It's not a waste of time. It's like you're actually helping people, and you're helping people connect and become friends surrounded around this Axe and Allies game, right? Until they realize that they have differences and they kick each other out. But you know, I guess the moral of the story is keep it to Axe and Allies, right? And it's like we'll be friends for the rest of our life. So YouTube has grown. I don't know how many channels are out there. Obviously, different Axes and Allies channels can go from just straight content only about Axes and Allies to, you know, some people playing video games and shooting a couple of Axes and Allies videos on the side, or maybe just somebody that had one or two really, really popular Axes and Allies videos and the rest is just about their dog or their cat or something, right? But we call them Axes and Allies channels because they had at least a couple of videos years ago right? Um, for example, Brian Wassam is totally a legitimate Acts and Allies channel, and he became famous, in my opinion, for doing something called the Wassam style video, which is basically him cutting in pieces his game breakdown, his game report, where he scans the board after turn one, scans the board after turn two, and he clips them all together. And so how many are there? I mean, at least 50. You know, count them all, maybe approaching 100. But the point is, so many people have contributed to make YouTube a great branch of the community, the Acts and Allies community. So, I mean, I know I'm forgetting stuff, but there's individuals out there that have created entire websites themselves. Sireblood is an excellent example. He's created his own website primarily surrounding his BBR variant rules, which are incredibly popular, and he's done a fantastic job of customizing them, customizing a rule book, an entire map, and just he's now play testing a version that he's just perfecting it, refining it, and now he's got his own website. He's very, very talented, able to code his own website. He's got some forum threads over there, right? So other people with their own websites, like for example, Greg Smorley, who runs the Gen Con, so I don't want to forget about the community branch at Gen Con. Bas- Sorry. Basically supported by Greg Smorley. I've never met the man, but I've got a lot of respect for what he does at Gen Con. He hosts and runs a Acts and Allies tournament, or just gaming events at Gen Con, which is very popular with a lot of different people. And that's what I'm trying to get at. I mean, YouTube is popular with some people, Facebook popular with some people, actsanallies.org, Gen Con, WhatsApp, Twitter even. I mean, different people respond, elevate, react to the platform of their choice, right? And I try them all, and like I said, I mean, I think my, I don't know, quote unquote disappointment, for lack of a better word, my disappointment with WhatsApp was kind of filled by the Facebook groups. I mean, I was looking more at the Facebook groups, realizing, wow, this is pretty much 100% Acts and Allies content. Sure, people rip on each other, right? But the moderators over there are there to chill people out and whatnot. But I mean, I was getting more receptive to the community in Facebook, and I spent more time over there, and I've been posting more over there. So, I mean, I've talked about creating my own website, and it's still on the stove, guys. But I have to tell you that it was looking a lot like a lot of work to manage. And I'll talk with Sireblood. I'm gonna call him up soon. I'm gonna talk to him about his website and managing it and everything. It feels like it's a lot of work, and when I'm trying to dabble in posting things for the Facebook group, of course videos like this for my YouTube subscribers, and of course being over there, and I want to be more active on the actsanallies.org boards like I used to. I used to be on those boards all the time. Right now I'm in my own forums using actsanallies.org to manage my documents and my rule variants and things like that, and use that as a place to blog, and then I create the link and share it on Facebook. I create the links and share them here on YouTube, and I share them on WhatsApp, right? With my single group that I'm still there with. And who knows, maybe I just might exit that group too, but I don't feel like I will. I think what I need to do is I needed to go from like 4 down, right? So now I'm not spending so much time in each area feeling like I'm missing out on one branch of the community. So as a new player, this might be exhausting to you to listen to. It might be overwhelming to think that, you know what, I got to join a Facebook group, I got to blog on actionknowledge.org, I may have to create a YouTube channel. No, I'm not saying that at all. This is more just a discussion about all the different types of platforms, all the different types of avenues in which our hobby expresses themselves, right? And that's really what this is. It's just an expression of our passion for this game, for this franchise of games, Axes and Allies. And the community has never been stronger. Something really blew me away, and I'll explain. So my buddy Gargantua, who's been a long, long time member of the community, going all the way back to even the smallest Axes and Allies websites that never succeeded, panned out, or got swallowed up by actionallies.org. But anyway, Gargantua went to an event put on by the creators of actionallies.org, or Wizards of the Coast, Avalon Hill, Hasbro. They put this on. They were promoting that new game, Zombies, right? So Gargantua made a trip from Upper BC, Canada, to Seattle, I believe, and he attended this, and he got to talk and rub elbows with a lot of the people that were involved with Axes and Allies at the time, bringing out this Zombies game. I think Brian Hart, a Shirley or Shelley something, but anyway, the point is, he was talking to them about the Axes and Allies community, right? He was talking to them about actionallies.org, YouTube, you know, dropping names, Cireblood, Young Grasshopper, you know, Jensen, dropping names, and you know what? He said none of them heard of us. None of them even knew that there was a community. And it is like, that really blew my mind, right? That the people that are in charge of the license are in charge of bringing out the games and, you know, guiding us as gamers from one game to the next, right? And it kind of makes sense that, you know, they would bring out a game like Zombies without knowing that there was a community out there ready to just spit fire at them for doing such a thing, right? But it's interesting to me that the people that have the license, that bring out these games, they don't know about this tree with all these branches, right? Obviously, I would be even more surprised now if they remain that ignorant that we're not out there, and that we're not talking about the products that they bring out, and we're not critiquing them. We're not sharing stories and strategies amongst each other using all these platforms, all these media, social media type sites and whatnot. But anyway, I just encourage you guys. I encourage anybody that is posting on Facebook to continue. I'm encouraging anybody that is shooting videos on YouTube to continue. Just encouraging anybody over on actionallies.org that are posting these long written posts of strategies or house rules or whatever. It might seem like, you know, nobody's responding. I just encourage you to continue, right? This community, this tree is just going to get larger and larger and larger. The reason being is because we love a great game. We picked a great game to be addicted to have passion for, to talk about, to spend our Saturday nights shooting videos. So anyway, I think I talked about everything that I wanted to. I dropped, you know, a lot of names, and just a big shout out to, you know, guys that I don't necessarily know about, just simply because I'm not into that thing, right? Like Gen Con. I'm not into going to Gen Con. But there's a huge community that goes every year. And, you know, I've never met Greg Smorley, but I know of him, right? And just, you know, and Greg Smorley's got his own website as well. So in the description box of this video, I'm gonna try and put as many links as I can. I mean, I never like doing that after I upload a video. I always like just upload the video and just chill, relax, watch some TV. So maybe come back after watching it in a couple of days, and um, there'll be links to everything that I've talked about. And so if there's something I haven't talked about, it's just I don't feel the impact of it, like Instagram or TikTok, or you know, I don't feel the impact on our community from it if I never mentioned it, right? Things like that. But I encourage you to, if you don't have a channel, start a channel. I encourage you to go to Facebook and look up those groups and check out the links here. And, you know, I encourage you to sign up and create a profile and an avatar for accentallies.org. That's how I got started. And I tell you, I have met some of the greatest people you could ever know being in this community. And I think that's all I want to say. I just want to put a period on that. I have met some of the greatest people you could ever meet in this community. Just really, really salt of the earth character, humble, kindred souls. Anyway, yeah. So guys, though, this is episode 1 of a series where I just take a topic and I discuss and I talk to you. You know me, I like to hear the sound of my voice. Anyways, I hope that was helpful. Just summarizing where we are right now as a community. Like I said, I hope that Wizards of the Coast or Avalon Hill at least knows we exist by this time. And again, there's just so many people to talk about. So check out my series as well, where I have a title called Big Shoutouts. And I use that series and little 10-minute, 15-minute videos to just shine a spotlight on a particular individual that does great things in our community, or maybe they're there, they're present, they're contributing, or maybe they're just fun guys that don't have a YouTube channel, don't post or paint their units, or they're just fun people. Whoever I think of that has influenced me or has made a positive impact on myself or the community, maybe I don't know them and they just make a great impact on the community, I'll do a shout out video. So if you want to learn more about the individuals in our community, check out that series. That's going to be a long running series because there's just so many people to talk about. And so there we go. Thanks a lot, guys. Really appreciate you sticking through this discussion. Hope it was engaging. I got other topics I want to talk about as well. But for now, just thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking. Thanks for commenting. You know, make comments here. How has the community affected you? How has the community made your life better? I'm looking forward to reading all your comments on that. So cheers, guys. Happy New Year. We've turned the calendar. Hopefully 2021 will be kinder to us. I feel like it will, but who can tell, right? But we're all just grateful to have this awesome game to distract us and keep our minds on other things. But anyway, may all your rolls be ones. Cheers. Thanks a lot. Take care.